harm to our society, and things that we need to put in place to ensure that we can have a better Jamaica. Now, you're a source of inspiration. I must say, I was there and I was in awe, and I thank you very much for that, because you moved the perception and allowed us, as rightful thinking members of society, to understand what it means to be corrupt and to solve, and in a bid to solve corruption. And I must say, thank you very much. One thing I would like to ask, though, is, seeing that for a person like me, who have, seen the what do they call them, the poor background communities, those students who really don't understand the extent of which corruption is embedded in society. I would really love to see where youths like myself and youths from the lower class region can really understand what this is and how can we solve this. Thank you very much again, and thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be here this evening. I started to write an article last week on corruption, and that's why I'm here. I want to say to Janet that you have lifted my spirits this evening.
Yes.
All right? But at the same time, we need to understand something about corruption, because I started writing, and my wife said, you can't publish this. Because, listen, the people who are corrupted are not hiding, they are in plain sight. In plain sight. What is happening, is we have not said it this way, but corruption in Jamaica is systemic. I see you alluded to the leaders of government of Brazil. When I started to write, I realized that I'm leading to the leaders of government in Jamaica, and the evidence is there. All I'm saying is this, is that we have all these freedom, like for the press, we're just not doing enough investigative journalism, so that we can therefore say, Prince, you are a damn thief. You understand what I mean? You understand what I mean? But there is no accountability. There's absolutely no accountability. So a politician was turned too soon from poor people into tycoon, lose the job, and then find himself into somewhere else. So you find that, listen, we can go back to 1930 or 19, even before then, and what we're seeing is that there is this repetition because we're not doing anything about it. We talk about it. I really think that the technology is going to help. But let me just say this one thing, guys. This is not going to be easy work. This is not going to be easy work, because whenever you have something that is systemic means that all aspects of our society is corrupt. That's what it means, It means even though we are seeing persons who are walking around and they are held in high esteem, chances are they are corrupt, right? It means that, for instance, we may not talk about our judiciary, but our judiciary is likely to be corrupt. These are big money that we're talking about, And big money tends to corrupt the best of us. And until citizens start setting the standard as to what is going to happen, and that's why I love what is going on here now. Until citizens start setting the standard as to what is going to happen. What will happen is that the people who are corrupt will set the standards, and we will follow it. That is my...
Okay.
I have to run my wife.
Good evening. I am so happy I'm here. This is the 6th annual lecture, and I've tried to be at everyone. I'm so proud of JMMB. But Mrs. Calder, excellent presentation. And I do hope that we need to bring some of these things in the schools, especially start from the primary schools. because we need to inoculate the younger minds, let them know that corruption is not the norm. And they must not allow people to tell that corruption, to normalize it. Because they are the ones who are going to suffer because of the corruptions. They won't be, they're taking out the shift system. They won't have enough nutrition for the schools. So we need to inoculate. Our parents, they tell them children also that whenever they see any sign of corruption, to identify it and make sure it is known. Because we're going to get rid of it, you know. Because we're going to stop corruption. I must stop now. But we have to work very hard as a gentleman. Very, very hard. JMMB, big up on yourself every time.
We just have time for one more. I'm sorry, we'll just take the last one. I'm sorry. Yes, one more.
Thank you very much. Thank God for you, Jeanette Calder. I am concerned about us looking at corruption in terms of government, business, and so on, and not going to where we start being corrupted, family. Yes, because the family who is not, we have a slave culture where we were put together to bear children and fathers didn't have to business with it because they were going to be sold. And mothers couldn't business with it too much because it would be too painful. We continue that, and that has seeped into everything. Talking about corruption, let's go to the base of where we start this corrupt living as a nation. We have to fix the family. It cannot be that we pass a law that says no bastard, not there again, when everything you do results in being bastardized.
Okay. I think Elaine's hand has been up for a while, so we'll just take that. Who sir? Or the gentleman? Okay. Elaine and then the gentleman.
I just have one question. What do you need? What can we do? What do you need? I'm very clear about your investment. I'm very clear about your sacrifice. I would like to know, where is JAMP now? And what do you need to get it where it needs to go?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Elaine. It has been 2 years of a journey. These journeys are never easy to date. But since the idea came into place and it being in a position to share, we have been fortunate enough, Elaine, that we were giving funds from the private sector of Jamaica to seed the project, which is why we were able to create the portal. However, sustainability is how do we continue? How do we get staff to do the research? We are happy to announce that the same European Union that funded the research between JCSC and CVC has just advised us, the board, 2 weeks ago, that they will be providing funding for 3 years going forward for JAMP. That's very good. However, the 2 years journey has also meant that we've piled up a lot of bills, and we are in a bid to clear those. Carol, who is a member of the board, and myself were literally on the streets today raising funds to clear a $2 million debt. So we actually also do need funding. Absolutely, we do. No, it's not.
No, it is, yeah. So although I think it's important to say that the portal has had the support of 6 private sector entities in Jamaica that enabled us to build out the site. That's important. It's also important that the EU has signed up for another 3 years, having supported the research that started Jeanette on this road. However, we can't be comfortable with this toolbox being supported by the European Union beyond the 3 years. And every stop that we have made over the last 2 years to try and find the resources to keep Jeanette going, and she will not say it, but she's been running on air for the last 2 years. Every stop we have made, the question is asked, well, how are you going to sustain this? And the question is asked in a way as if you must figure it out. That this sustainability does not have anything to do with the rest of us. Could I just invite everyone, please, to consider that the sustainability of this portal is each of us' responsibility. And that, so can you be in touch, Jeanette, can you give a number so that people can be in touch outside of this forum as to how they can contribute, etc. All right?
And so, Jeanette, to follow on that, which really was my question, is are there plans afoot to formalize a citizen investment fund? Because it's all our responsibility. So I'm quite prepared
Thank you,
to help you with that.
Thank you very much.
To
Gladys, yeah.
formalize a citizen investment fund to keep JAMP amped.
Very good. The only thing I want to add, and thank you very much, Carol, for that, is just reminded me of an experience I had last year when I had great difficulty getting some information as it simply relates to where are the constituency offices in Jamaica and what are the contact numbers, yeah? And it was taking months upon months to get something that I thought was relatively simple from the headquarters of the party. And just, I'm going to be very open about this, guys, because that's what that site is going to be about. It did take me a week to get it from the People's National Party. It took me 3.5 months to get half of it from the Jamaica Labour Party, and I am still waiting for the other half. I couldn't understand why we provide $250,000 every month to upkeep the offices, but we do not know where they are. And I'm saying this for a reason. When Glynis and Elaine asked how to help, I want to show you the potential of the toolbox. So I placed it on Twitter that I'm having difficulty and I could do with some help. So I was asking the Prime Minister, you would know about this, but could you help? And a citizen tweeted back and says, Jeanette, why don't we crowdsource that information for you? I was like, crowdsource that information? Went totally over my head, Donna. And she said, each of us love what you say you're doing. Well, I will call my MP and ask him where the office there. So what I'm really saying, guys, is that also part of the support, yes, exactly, is depending on you also to feed information to us and to use the information that we're providing to move forward. So that's just another part of this important thing that I wanted to add.
Sorry, as we wrap up, the gentleman who has been waiting, and then the Students' Union will not allow me to leave unless they have a word.
Lost my chance. Yes, thank you for the opportunity. I wanted to just express gratitude to Jeanette for what you have presented. And also, I'm a flip-flopper. I'm here and I'm in Florida at times. But I have so much passion for my country. Yes. My email address is out there. It's richlifeja. Yes. And I intend to see that Jamaica go to that level where it has the potential for. I remember when Mr. Perkins was around, he always mentioned the corruption that it is in the asphalt. So much was used. You spend $1 and 80% of that is corruption. So we're only getting 20 cents in the work. So we really need, what I want to find is, how do we get onto your site? I don't recall if you told us what's the website. Yeah. Because
well, that is because we have not been in a position to launch as yet.
We need to have
but
a
the website is
page.
going to be simply be www.jampja.org. Jampja.org.
Right.
Yeah.
How can we set up this GoFundMe page or whatever it is?
Yes.
So, yeah,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah.
So that's my comment.
Well, I'm going to definitely come and seek you out as soon as we're still here to talk to you about that. And I just want to close on really piggybacking on what you said, that this is also a very important part of how the diaspora is going to be able to join the conversation, which they're really hungry to be able to do. Yes. So I'm really glad that you're here representing them today.
Okay,
yeah.
well.
Thank you very much.
The student union will have their say, and then I'll hand the microphone over to Mrs. Duncan.
Yes, good night. I am Khalil Hutchins, the president of the UTech Students Union. First, I should say very... Yes, first I should say very exceptional presentation expected from a past graduate of UTech. But I think that corruption, it is it is wide scale. However, we should focus from a smaller level, for example, the tertiary level, because I believe that majority of persons, the corrupt persons that will come into these levels try to influence persons. So it will become like a ripple effect in a sense. So they will come in, offer them some lucrative deals, and give them some positions outside. So I believe that some persons, they don't have the heart of a corrupt person, but they're placed in some situations that cause them to do acts that they're not raised to do. So I believe that we should look into like the tertiary level, high school level, because the head boy of Andrews is here. So I think that we should look into these levels. But the JDC rep has some comments to make as well. Thanks.
Good night, everyone. So this lady is one of, how should I put it? She's one of the best speakers I've heard, and I would like you guys to give her a round of applause for that. As a fellow UTech Knight, I must commend you for taking this time out to actually educate us on about this, and to be the Joan Duncan School of Entrepreneurship, Ethics and Leadership's representative. I am 100% thankful and 100% grateful for what you have said to us. I remember when I just applied for UTech, that was just a year ago, when a child looked at me and said, why a politician has so much to offer to the world and does not do it. And I tell them always, the richer shall be richer, the poor shall be poor. It starts at such a young age where transparency should be measured not only from your stature, not only through poverty. You are a citizen of Jamaica, the great Jamaica. We should all be proud of Jamaica, right? So we need to start not only at tertiary level, but from the family itself, that our voice should be heard, our voice should be recorded, because at the end of the day, we are the persons, we are the backbone of every nation. So I would like to thank you once again. I would like to thank everyone here. I would like to thank my teacher, Miss English, and I would like to actually say that whatever you put forward to us as students, we will follow you onto the right path. I thank you.
And thank you very much, Mrs. Calder. I'm going to ask Mrs. Donna Duncan Scott to come forward to make presentations. She's the Group Executive Director, Culture and Human Development, JMMB Group. Donna.
All right. Good evening, everyone. It has been an evening well spent. Man, no, we couldn't choose a better representative for Joan Duncan. No, serious thing, serious. Because, you know, her values, openness, honesty, love, and care. And you represented that. Let me tell you something. When you come to the, you know, you can come to a lecture about corruption, and you kind of feel, say, Lord Jesus, we're going to be totally depressed at the end of this conversation. What is the point? You know what I mean, that kind of thing? And we are leaving lifted up. Is Caroline not? Caroline! We are leaving lifted up. You know, possibility. And that is what she stood for. She's a possibility thinker. Right, you know what I mean? So you represent that. But I have to just do like a big up quick. To Keith Duncan. No, and Tricia, when you talk about epochs, I may have to tell the story because the story is not known. What happened is that when we had to go into NDX again, and we supported JMMB, which meant that we would be losing money because we were giving up some interest that the government it owes. But for the sake of the country, we said, okay, we'll take lower interest, right? Because the country really could not afford it. So we supported that, and we encouraged our clients to support the NDX. But in doing so, we said, no, but we can't just make it go so, you know. We have to make sure that there's some accountability. And Keith had us upstairs in the office with Tricia and talking about this thing that could be, how can we, as accreditors now, we are representing all the accreditors, all of we client them, we are representing all of them to say we're going to hold the government. If we do this, we're going to hold you accountable. And that is the beginning of epoch. You understand? So we had, no, I thank you for raising it because it's just Joan Duncan. It's what we stand for as a family. And I really feel proud of that. And the story is not known, you know? And that's what Jamaica, and that's what we can do. The whole of we have an opportunity to make a difference. And here you are making an amazing difference with what you're doing and giving us the tools that we need. You know what I mean? But I thank you most of all for just coming from possibility and standing for our country. You know what I mean? Because you don't come from cussing and all that. What a difference that how make? You stand for what we want, the betterment. We're battling for the betterment. And thank you so much. You're just representing love, openness, honesty, and care. And integrity. Beautiful. All right. Thank you, Janet. And now Hector, where Hector is. Hector, faithful man. Faithful, faithful, faithful. He never fails us in terms of keeping having a nice feeling for this lecture, consistent with Joan Duncan. You know what I mean, Hector? Thank you so much. And you know, not everybody like a kind of job like this, but Hector love it. Me think Sam love it. So thank you, Hector, so much.